Morning. Hi. So we are on day 4, um, which is awesome. And I don't know about you, and going through these last 4 days has been, really, really interesting for me because, I've started to feel a lot lighter in myself and what I'm trying to do because I'm being on purpose as well. I'm getting very focused on what is it that I want and why am I doing it, clearing any blocks. And what the last 3 days has been about us clearing away anything that's stopping us from being on purpose. And it's felt really good. So what we're going to do today is we're going to step into creation. And now this isn't something that I can, do in a quick 10-minute session. But what we are going to have a look at is creating a space where we can dream. Yeah, so tapping into that inner child, that other self that doesn't have, we don't get born with our ego, with sadness, with our shoulds, our woulds, our coulds. When we're children, that's why we have so much potential for imagination and the things that we thought were possible as we've kind of grown old. All these labels and constraints have been put on that have stopped us. Not all of us, there's still quite a few dreamers out there, but the majority of us have had that kind of taken away from us, whether by choice or just by life and life circumstances. And I often think about when people are either in the past, if you spend too much time in the past, that's where depression is created. There's that coolness and that, lack of control. But if we spend too much time in the future, that's when we create anxiety. Because again, we've got no control, but we're full of what ifs, what might, all these kind of things that can take away our energy. So we'll start off with this quote. I really love it, and I use it a lot. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond belief. And if you think about that, I've recently made through the last few years have transitioned from that, the fear of being inadequate, and starting to really look at what the potential is, what can actually happen. And it's brilliant, but sometimes there are those little voices that kind of come in, you're like, but it's about that exercise and that control that I've been doing on my mind, and getting the support and understanding how my mind actually works, learning how my mind works so that I can understand, see and feel when these reactions are coming up, and how to not react to them if they don't serve me. So today we're just going to go back to the breath, focusing on the end of our nose. So again, if this is the first time that you're kind of popping in here, meditation isn't about completely clearing your mind and being blank, and it's about having a single point of focus. So acknowledging when things come in. It's not just about how we are in a day or how we're not in a day, because we're maybe not being aware of it, but how do we come up? How do we rise up to meet whatever our day brings, whatever our head brings, whatever our relationships brings? But then how do they come up to meet us? Because we determine that as well. How we communicate and how we're understood, that is all down to us. As a manager, one of the biggest lessons I ever learned is if someone doesn't understand you, it's because you haven't explained it. It's not because they don't understand. It's because you haven't articulated enough so that in their language so that they understand. So sometimes I feel like we have to do that with our minds. We have to understand how to communicate with our mind for it to get what it needs to allow us to create, clear, and really be present, be on purpose. So this morning we'll have 10 minutes of just really focusing on the breath in and out through the tip of the nose. That's where our point of focus is going to be. Put the feet flat on the floor. And even if you can't, the thoughts are, coming in, just don't give them the weight. Don't hang on the next thought, hang on the next question. Just let it flow. One of the things that I like to do to kind of challenge myself in meditation is because it comes from the stillness. So the stillness, when you get an itch, I'm getting quite good at that at the moment, because it's being able just to be aware of it. And if there's nothing in there that's creating the itch, just let it be. And you'll notice that it goes away. It's quite interesting when you be aware of the itch and you kind of just observe it, don't give anything to it, it goes away. It's quite an interesting process. Give it a go. And if it happens this morning, try that too. So take a deep breath in. Again, that first clearing breath. Look at where your shoulders are in relation to your ears. So, and really relax into that out breath. And as we're focusing on the end of our nose, I want you to ponder on a question of, if there were no constraints, what would be my dream? Just don't even think about it, just have that playing in the back of your mind. If there were no constraints, what would be my dream? What would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that sound like? And we're not going to look for the answer right now, but we're going to look for and try and understand and use our minds in a positive way to start getting on purpose and create that. People like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison, they had a picture, an image, and a dream of what they wanted to create. They seen a carriage without horses. They seen, light being brought into a room without the use of a candle. They didn't know how it was going to happen. They just knew that that's what they wanted to do. They had such conviction that that was going to happen that Edison tried 10,000 times. So, what's your dream? So again, take that deep breath in. And roll your shoulders back down. And when you're ready, close your eyes. And focus on the end of your nose. And really, to breathe properly, we should be inhaling through our nose. Because that's there, the whole hairs up your nose is to create a clean environment, a clean source of air that goes into the lungs. It's a filtration. sometimes we get lazy and we breathe through our mouth because that's easier. But it's not better. I'm thinking about how that air is growing in through the nose. And you may notice that it's cold. Or you may notice that it's warm. And gently ponder that question of, if there were no constraints, what would my dream be? If anything was possible, what would I do? Breathing in again. Just ponder the question. Don't try and give the answers. And if you find that your breath's just a little bit too shallow, just try and pull it a bit deeper down into your chest. Especially if you're someone who doesn't necessarily breathe a lot. I'm like that. You know, I breathe quite shallow from the top of my chest, but when I start to expand and work that, and I get a sense of freedom and a space for my mind to create. Make sure to stay present. And in your daydream state, where can you find joy and opportunity and real potential? But also tap into that desire. In and out. Allow this meditation to bring your inner dreamer through. We don't need all the answers today. We just need space to allow to start that creation. To create that blank page in our head and those color markers for that image to start to take shape. And as you listen to my words, you'll notice that they are starting to unlock doors that are in your mind that you didn't even know you had. Doors that when they get opened will bring a lot of light and joy and potential. And keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, gently rising, gently falling. And we don't need to know how. We just need to know that it's possible. The how will come. And often when we really want things, and we're very clear on what it is that we are creating, we don't always get it the way that we thought we would. The plan that we had in our head doesn't always come to fruition, but the outcome's there. So letting that real inner creativity, that inner dreamer, start to make its way forward now, so that I can answer that question. If there were no constraints, what would I do? What would I be? What would I create? And focus back on the breath. Don't give it any weight just yet. And slowly start to become aware of what's going on around you, what noises you can hear outside. And take a big, deep breath to finish up the practice. And blow it out through your mouth. Okay, team. I'll leave that with you. Tomorrow is our last day. It's going to be a good one because now we've gone through that process of really about letting out that inner creative. And tomorrow we'll wrap it up with day 5 of being on purpose and creating that kind of that desire and putting it out there in terms of we're going to make this happen because we are on purpose. We do want to create and have a good time. So have a good day. Again, any questions, pop them in the feed, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, 7:30.